and they were very appreciative of that too. And but yeah, I think we're going to do it. We're going to keep on doing it and maybe do some other things.
Because you guys had other Alzheimer's stuff, right?
Yeah, we had. Of course, we go on these walks that you go on, and then we did a boxing Alzheimer fundraiser, which was called Knockout Owls, and that was a big turnout. That was just awesome. So we're kind of getting, building some stuff up and some different recreational activities for these people, to do. And it seems to be very well, accepted. They really enjoy it. So we'll continue.
Sean, you got anything to add?
Um, not necessarily about the Alzheimer's stuff, because I feel like you guys covered that pretty well. Other than to say, Mike, when you guys have the next event planned, definitely let me know. We're friends on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I wanted to mention was that Mike has organized or put together a couple different Facebook groups about outdoors or kayaking. I know one of them is P-Town Paddlers, which I saw some posts from today, and the other one is the Kindred River Society.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk about those a little bit? Let people know what those are about.
Yeah, Kindred River Society. I started that years ago. It was actually an organization, like a nonprofit, and it wasn't on it wasn't created for kayaking or fishing. A lot of time, it was mainly for people to be able to give their knowledge and things like that. Um, Online or in person or during events on Appalachian culture in the region and the place we live, and so it was kind of a conglomeration of maybe people who farm and people who fish or hunt or things like that, a way for them to put their selves out there and share their interests with the community, with the area. That's what Kindred River was about. Over the years, it's kind of stayed that way. I post a lot of different things on there. If I see something that I think, oh well, someone may like to read this or an event that I see, I'll put it on there. I put a lot of posts about kayaking, canoeing, and fishing and things like that on there now. But the other one, P-Town Paddlers, it was actually created because Portsmouth has another group called, what is it? Portsmouth Plays Outside, or I think that's what it's called, Portsmouth Plays Outside. And they asked me to create a paddling group page because we didn't have one in the area. So I kind of just really threw that together, and it's kind of neat. Here the last month, there's been a lot of people that have joined. So I'm just hoping people, if anybody's listening out there, I hope that they, will start posting more pictures of this kind of the same thing. They're paddling, whether it be canoeing or kayaking and fishing and things, and telling people about where they're at, and so everybody can kind of get together in the area or find out where some of these spots are that hot spots people want to go, because we got a lot of places that people don't even know about that people go, and maybe we can get that out there where we can get some of the locals or even people from out of town to check us out in the area, man.
That's what I'm hoping to do, is share some of the stuff that we've gathered over the years and let people know, hey, if you want to do some awesome smallmouth fishing out of a kayak,
Yeah.
you can go to Paint Creek. Or if you want to have a nice, easy paddle on a relatively safe body of water, go down the Ohio River
Mm-hmm.
and let them know where they can put in, take out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, not only that, with everything going on, I think people need to just take a step back, take a break, and just enjoy what's around them outside.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now,
Absolutely.
I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate here, just for fun, nothing serious, because Mike mentioned telling people where you're fishing. We all know that spot burning is a pretty big issue. People get pretty red around the collar about that. Um, what is Zach and Mike? What is your guys' take on that mindset on spot burning? And Zach, if we already talked about this in our first episode, let me know. I don't remember if we did or not.
Well, I'll go ahead and give you my 2 cents right now. I'm in Colorado. Get a hold of me. I will tell you any fishing spot you want to know in Ohio. That's Zachary C. Jenkins at gmail.com. Just send me an email. I'll probably be nice enough to send you a map and let you know exactly where I caught my fish.
On on my side, yeah, I may have worded that wrong. Ain't nobody gonna tell everybody where their honey holes are. Um, I don't believe that's gonna happen. You too, yeah. I'd probably say, yeah, I caught, I did well over here. You all to check it out. Um, but mainly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like the bodies of water that people frequent. Brush Creek. Just the nice stretches on Brush Creek. Maybe someone had a good day with smallmouth. That's pretty much an all public access. So it's
Right.
it's kind of not like you can't really hide that. Um, but you get into the, back areas of Brush Creek where people don't go. Maybe people ain't going to say a whole lot, but there is along 73 and things like that where you can put in and take out pretty reasonably easy. If you have a good day, I'm just saying, hey, post some stuff. Look, man, I caught, several smallmouth today. It's good. But you know how creek fishing is. You go out one day, it's great. Next day, may not catch nothing. But I think it's important to kind of, show people what's in the area and what's available there, whether they have a good day of fishing or not so good day of fishing. They need to get out there and just see what we have to offer.
I can agree with that.
On a more serious note, I don't have a problem telling a person exactly where I caught a fish.
Okay.
I'm not going to openly broadcast that in a public Facebook forum,
Right.
but if I put up a picture of a fish and a person sends me a message and says, "Hey, I've fished there several times. I've never done any good. What did you do to be successful?" I'm going to share my information with that person.
My thoughts on the whole subject, right? Kind of ties into what Mike just said. The spots that we fish, or that anybody fishes anywhere, right? 9 times out of 10, somebody else has already been there. First off, secondly, it's going to be really difficult for somebody to replicate your success, even if you tell them exactly where you went down to the coordinates and exactly what you were fishing with and exactly how you were fishing, because everybody knows, what I call a pause and a hop with a jig is different than what Zach calls a pause and a hop with a jig is different than what Mike calls a pause and a hop with a jig. So I've never had any problem with telling people, yeah, I went fishing at in Ohio Brush Creek. I started at the 348 public access. I paddled upstream and I fished with a crankbait. This is what I caught. You know what I mean? Because I may have had a good day, and the next person that goes may not have a good day. It's not my
Exactly.
fault. It's not their fault. It's not the fish's fault. It's just there are so many different aspects of it that all have to line up. So um, even the spots that I've done really well in the section of the Little Scioto River that Zach and I waded when I caught swamp bass and he missed a gigantic pumpkin seed on a 4-inch creature bait.
Oh,
I would tell people exactly where we went, because also I feel like a lot of the places that I go to chase fish, because I'm dumb, are places that a lot of other more sane people wouldn't go. The trip that Zach and I took wading the Little Scioto, we spent the entire evening waiting before we got to any worthwhile fishing.
yeah, it's a long trip.
I don't know how many people are going to do that. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? If people were smart, they would do that, because that adventure, that's 95% of the fun.
Absolutely.
It's so hard when you're in them creeks, and I mean, I absolutely love creek fishing. That's probably one of my favorite fishing. But when you get, to that, well, you look up ahead and you're like, oh man, there's another bend. Wonder what's around that. So you just keep going. Next thing you know, you're a mile upstream somewhere. Me and Braden, the boy, we went back when it was a little cool. We went down here to Rocky Fork at the
Mm-hmm.
at the ball fields, and we put on our waders and we waded all the way down to the bridge on 335. Um, didn't catch a thing, but it was fun. It was fun trying. Um, but that goes to show, and then you go, sometimes you may catch all kinds. I've waded that creek and stood in one spot in a little shallow body of water right there, and threw a rooster tail, pulling it back upstream, and catching little bass, one right after another. Next day you may not. A lot of variables goes into creek fishing, any kind of fishing. Water temperature, what you're using. So but it's love the creek fishing and love the adventure of it. That's what I like.
I like the mystery, because you never know what you're going to end up with. We've caught everything from largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, striped bass, crappie, bluegill. I mean, you name it, we've caught it.
Well, you never, you go to a lot of places, especially if you have a small boat that you can get to them. You end up in some places that you just know that there's just no one that's going to walk that far or something to fish there, because it's just like the Little Scioto. You get back in there on the going towards the Willersburg side. I mean, that's nothing but cornfields. I mean, you'd have to walk 3/4 of a mile just to get to the creek. You know,
Unless you know somebody that'll let you go through their field.
exactly. You just don't. There's just not a lot, people that fish those areas. Little Soda River runs backside of White Gravel here, where I'm at, and we got to go on private property to get to it, but we paddle upstream. And when you paddle upstream, we fish it all the way up. You get up there about half a mile, and there's a lot of gravel bars where the creek has washed the gravel up, and then you have to get out of your boat, drag it over, and then there's these nice, maybe 40, 50-foot wide areas of water, maybe a couple 100 feet long, that are deep. You don't know what you're going to pull out of there. You may pull out, a bunch of nice bluegill, or, be wrestling a gar before the day's out. You have no idea. So, yeah, I'm with you on the mystery part. It's pretty fun.
I noticed that neither one of you guys mentioned the king of creek fish, the sheephead.
The sheephead.
Listen,
We're
anybody
talking about the mystery of what you're going to catch, and nobody's talking about a sheephead. Come on, guys! Everybody knows they put up a fight. They're the best.
I'd almost rather pull up a car tire. And that's not because they